Hey there guys, Gamer Lynn here, one half of 10x10, and I'm here with a new series I like to call The Pitch. The goal of The Pitch is to find 3 ideas dealing with an ever-changing topic in an effort to try to find ways to improve on them. Personally, we all tend to do this from time to time, whether it be the crappy guilty pleasure that we really enjoy defending, but we know it isn't good, to that masterpiece of entertainment that verges on perfection. If only a few more adjustments were made, then it would become the perfect piece of media ever made. Regardless, these ideas and statements are just for fun and striking up conversation, so please don't take anything personal that I say here. Now, in this video, we're going to be discussing a magnificent series called Disgaea. Disgaea is a series of tactical role-playing games developed by Nippon Ichi, also NIS America, with the first game debuting back in Japan in the year 2003. The Disgaea series is the developing team's most popular series, which has broken barriers into anime and manga and probably other types of media. Just recently, the team has created and released its 7th title in the series with promising reviews. And this very same series has also broke through 5 million copies being sold in the year of 2021 and it is growing since. So despite all the success, we're going to try to explore 3 pitches that just might make the Disgaea series even better. So without further ado, let's get into the pitches. Pitch number 1, keeping or going back to the 2D sprite art style.
Anyways, I think we've made those demons wait long enough already.
Now, some of the great flair that comes with the Disgaeas is its iconic 2D art style. In the beginning, Disgaea, Hour of Darkness wasn't anything crazy in the look department, due to the limitations of technology at the time with the most famous PlayStation 2. This is only really seen in Disgaea Tactic Compact sections, as the visual novel styles of cutscenes and story segments proved how dynamic and unique storytelling could be with its beautiful detail art that I dare say rivals what we see in current day anime and also the pages of manga. With every title that followed after the first Disgaea, we could see little to vast improvements to the 2D avatars by the time we see Disgaea 3 and 4, which were released with sprites becoming more defined, detailed, with higher resolutions, and capable of more motion thanks to the power and possibilities of technology of its time, and also being on the PlayStation 3 and the respective PlayStation 4. Now, all the while, if you look closer into the series, you can see how the development team slowly approached and worked in 3D modeling into the Disgaea series with its world terrain and backgrounds. Something I was reminded of from my recording of footage and the replaying of certain titles for this recording. It wasn't until Disgaea 6 when we were fully thrown into a 3D space. I know personally I was shocked by the certain change, as I become accustomed to the 2D art style, and I dare say I even personally prefer it to the 3D models, though things aren't bad about it, but the changes isn't what I call an improvement either. Now, Disgaea 7 Vows of the Virtueless has released with pretty positive reviews. From what I've seen, many reviews praise this new title's storytelling and voice acting, but some still talk about the 3D art style as jarring or off-putting. My hope is a return to the form with 2D art style, as I personally prefer it, much like many fans of anime would prefer 2D art style instead of some of the anime series which made the shift to 3D animation, changes like Trigun or Berserk for a few examples. But only time will tell.
You're wasting your breath, as bad as it is. We just gotta plow right through them.
Now, moving on to pitch number 2. finding ways to expand into multiplayer. Single-player games at one point felt few to almost non-existent in comparison to the craze of multiplayer game genres like first-person shooters, MOBAs, and even battle royale games. As a married man myself, I look for more games that both gamer Becca and myself can play with one another without having to own two computers or consoles to enjoy. So imagine, if you will, a nice tactics game like Disgaea that you can play with a buddy. Now, Disgaea RPG is or was a thing, as it sounds like that might be closing down soon. But I feel there's a huge missed opportunity with the main titles only being single player. But there is hope over the horizon, as Disgaea 7 Vows of the Virtueless is said to have online battles, which is huge, and hopefully a staple moving forward to making future Disgaea games more two-player friendly. Couch co-op!
I'm a company president after all. I'd love to rescue you from your humble frugality.
So you're calling me poor, huh? Get off your damn high horse, missy.
Last but not least, we're moving on to pitch number 3. Taking a break with a new IP before making Disgaea 8. Creating long-lasting worlds like Disgaea is hard and extremely difficult. And it's even harder to maintain them over long periods of time. Yet the fandom and the demand is there, and it isn't always a good idea to push creative processes if you want something good. Yet Disgaea has always been in a good place when it comes to delivering good stories, amazing voice acting, and hours upon hours of gameplay with mind-numbing replay. But I dare say the best formula of the Disgaea series' success is its vast amount of experimentation it has done with other IPs that they have created outside of the Disgaea brand. An example of this can be found with Souls Nomad and the World Eaters, or Makai Kingdom. These PlayStation 2 games are closely associated with the Disgaea series, though they have totally different playstyles and mechanics that probably have long-lasting impressions or lessons well learned by the development team that they have put into practice with the Disgaea brand. Despite Disgaea having epic sequels that sometimes tie into one another by surprise appearances of two old characters, neither Souls Nomad or Makai Kingdom ever got sequels. And yet certain iconic characters from those games were featured within a previous Disgaea game as DLC. And even though Souls Nomad or Makai Kingdom never been sequel-worthy games, they both served a purpose in helping Disgaea either to avoid making unnecessary mistakes, changes, or gain proven success from upgrades and mechanics that worked in those titles. And perhaps the same could be said with another short series called The Guided Fate Paradox that was released after Disgaea D2, A Brighter Darkness. Again, a very similar tactics game to the Disgaea series with some different gameplay styles, but what I think helped this game stand out from its predecessor is the fact that this game actually got a sequel titled The Awakened Fate Ultimatum. Now, why this series is so special isn't quite clear, as the reviews appeared mixed. I can't help but notice that the art style to this game also appeared to change from 2D with the Guided Fate Paradox to 3D with the Awakened Fate Ultimatum. So maybe not all lessons were learned here. Regardless, the release of Disgaea 7 Vow of the Virtueless, I believe it is time for another break from the Disgaea series, and maybe it's time to try exploring a new opportunity with a new IP that maybe, just maybe, can push tactic games a bit further, either to make another sequel, epic series, or to test concepts and empower mechanics that can be used for future Disgaea franchise.
I'm one badass freaking overlord.
So with that said, that is all I got for the Disgaea series. Again, this franchise is one of my favorites, with the many hours I poured into leveling characters and to the many times I restarted the game to better challenge myself. Again, this isn't any type of review, we're just thinking out loud with ideas I could totally be onto something with, or I'm just an old man screaming at clouds. Either way, you let me know in the comments if you agree with any of these pitches, or what ideas do you have that could improve the Disgaea series? Again, Disgaea 7 Vow of the Virtueless is out now, and in case you want to see if this is a type of game for you, there's also a nice sized demo out there available on the PlayStation 4, 5, and on the Nintendo Switch. And let me know what I should pitch next. Until then, I'm Gamer Lynn, and I want you to keep it 100.